The suitcase sits there like a time bomb, and inside it is something that will destroy everything Sarah Mitchell thought she knew about her marriage. But we're getting ahead of ourselves. Let me take you back to where this nightmare began. 3 days ago, Sarah was rushing out the door for work when she heard Tom's phone buzzing incessantly from their bedroom dresser. Her husband had already left for what he'd told her was an important business conference in Denver. She almost ignored it, but something made her turn back. Probably just his boss, she mutters, picking up the device. But when the screen lights up, her blood runs cold. The message isn't from his office. It's from someone named M, and it reads, Room 412. She won't suspect a thing. Don't forget what we discussed. Sarah's hands start trembling. She scrolls up through the conversation, her heart hammering against her ribs. More messages from this mysterious M person, all cryptic, all suggesting something Sarah never imagined possible. Her Tom, her faithful husband of 8 years, might be having an affair. This can't be right, she whispers to their empty apartment, surrounded by wedding photos and anniversary gifts that suddenly feel like lies. But the evidence is right there in black and white, and it's making her sick to her stomach. Little did Sarah know that discovering these texts was only the beginning of a web of deception that would take her across the country and into the most terrifying night of her life. She calls in sick to work, something she's never done without actually being ill. Her mind races as she searches their shared tablet for any trace of Tom's travel plans. What she finds makes her knees buckle. There's no business conference in Denver. Instead, she discovers hotel confirmation emails for Las Vegas, airplane tickets, and restaurant reservations for 2 people. 8 years of marriage, she says aloud, her voice cracking. 8 years. And he's lying to my face about everything. The apartment feels different now, like she's seeing it through new eyes. Every shared memory feels tainted. The coffee mug he'd kissed her goodbye over that morning sits in the sink, and she has the sudden urge to smash it against the wall. But Sarah Mitchell isn't the type to fall apart. She's a paralegal who's spent years helping people navigate their worst moments. And she knows that emotion without action is just suffering. She needs proof. She needs to know the truth, no matter how much it might destroy her. But what happened next shocked everyone, including Sarah herself. Instead of calling Tom or confronting him over the phone like most people would do, Sarah opens her laptop and starts booking a flight. Her hands move with a determination that surprises her. If her husband is in Las Vegas with another woman, she's going to find out exactly what's happening. Flight 447 to Las Vegas, she reads from the screen. Departs in 4 hours. The rational part of her brain is screaming that this is crazy, that she should just call him and ask for an explanation. But the rational part of her brain didn't just discover that her entire marriage might be built on lies. The rational part of her brain wasn't just blindsided by the man she trusted most in the world. As she throws clothes into a suitcase, her phone rings. It's Tom. For a moment, she considers answering, considers giving him a chance to explain. But then she remembers that message. She won't suspect a thing. She lets it go to voicemail. This decision would change everything, though Sarah has no idea just how dramatically her life is about to shift. She thinks she's flying to Las Vegas to catch her cheating husband. She has no clue that she's walking into something far more dangerous and complex than a simple affair. At the airport, as she boards the plane with her hastily packed bag, Sarah catches her reflection in the airplane window. She barely recognizes herself. The woman staring back at her has determined eyes and a set jaw, someone ready for a fight, someone she's never been before. But the real shock was still coming, because what's waiting for her in that Las Vegas hotel room isn't just evidence of her husband's betrayal. What's waiting for her will make her question everything she thought she knew about Tom, about their marriage, and about her own identity. As the plane takes off, carrying her toward answers she's not prepared for, Sarah has no idea that in less than 24 hours, she'll be staring at her own passport in her husband's suitcase, in another woman's hotel room, wondering if the man she married even exists at all. The Nevada desert heat hits Sarah like a wall as she steps off the plane at McCarran International Airport. Her hands shake as she grips her carry-on bag, Tom's cryptic text message still burned into her memory. The bustling terminal feels surreal, like she stepped into someone else's nightmare. At the Bellagio's front desk, Sarah forces a smile. I need to check in. Sarah Mitchell. The clerk's fingers dance across the keyboard, and Sarah adds casually, my husband Tom should already be here. Room for Mitchell. I'm sorry, ma'am. I don't show a Tom Mitchell currently registered with us. Sarah's heart skips. Are you sure? He's been here since Tuesday. The young clerk double-checks, shaking his head apologetically. No record of that name, but we have thousands of guests daily. Wandering the casino floor, Sarah feels lost among the flashing lights and ringing slot machines. She pulls out her phone, scrolling through Tom's social media posts from the past few days. Nothing. Radio silence. But then she notices something in his last Instagram story from 3 days ago. A reflection in his sunglasses shows the distinctive Bellagio fountains. Excuse me. Sarah approaches a hotel maid pushing her cart down the marble corridor. I'm looking for my husband. He's about 6 feet tall, brown hair, probably wearing a navy suit. The woman's eyes brighten with recognition. Oh yes, I think I know who you mean. Very polite gentleman. But he hasn't been in his room for 2 days now. Sarah's pulse quickens. Which room? I shouldn't say, but... The maid glances around nervously. There's an uncollected suitcase in 2847. Management's been asking what to do with it. Before Sarah can respond, a voice behind her interrupts. Excuse me, are you talking about Tom Mitchell? Sarah spins around to find a woman in her early 30s, impeccably dressed in a charcoal business suit. Her blonde hair is pulled back in a severe bun, and her blue eyes seem to assess Sarah with calculating precision. I'm Laura. The woman extends her hand. Tom was supposed to meet me for an important business presentation yesterday. He never showed up. Something doesn't sit right. Sarah studies Laura's face, searching for deception. What kind of business? Corporate consulting. We've been working on a merger for months. Laura's smile doesn't reach her eyes. I've been trying to reach him, but his phone goes straight to voicemail. I'm getting worried. The maid excuses herself, but not before whispering the room number again. Sarah memorizes it, her mind racing. Why would Tom have business meetings he never mentioned? Why would he use a different name at the hotel? Maybe we should check with hotel security, Laura suggests, falling into step beside Sarah as they walk toward the elevators. No, the word comes out sharper than Sarah intended. I mean, let's try to find him ourselves first. Laura's eyebrows rise slightly, but she nods. Of course, you know him better than anyone. As they wait for the elevator, Sarah catches Laura checking her phone repeatedly, typing quick messages. When the doors open, Sarah makes a split-second decision. Actually, I forgot something in my room. You go ahead. Laura hesitates for just a moment too long. Are you sure? I could wait. I'll catch up. Sarah steps back, forcing a casual smile until the elevator doors close. Her heart pounds as she takes the stairs 2 at a time to the 28th floor. Room 2847 sits at the end of a long, carpeted hallway. Sarah's hands tremble as she approaches, listening for any sounds from inside. Silence. She tries the handle, locked, of course. But as she turns to leave, a housekeeping cart rounds the corner. The same maid from earlier spots her immediately. You're still looking for your husband? The suitcase you mentioned, is it still in there? The maid glances around nervously, then pulls out her master key. Just for a minute. If anyone asks, you didn't see me. The lock clicks, and Sarah's breath catches in her throat. The room is pristine except for a black suitcase sitting on the luggage rack, looking abandoned and ominous. With shaking fingers, Sarah unzips the case. Tom's cologne hits her first. That familiar scent that usually comforts her now makes her stomach lurch. His clothes are neatly folded, his toiletries organized in the side pocket. But underneath his shirts, her fingers find something that makes her blood run cold. Her own passport. Sarah stares at the familiar blue booklet, her photo smiling back at her from inside. But she's never been to Las Vegas before this moment. Her passport should be in their safe at home, where it's been for months since their last vacation. "What the hell, Tom?" she whispers to the empty room. Her mind reels with possibilities, each more terrifying than the last. Why would he have her passport? Was he planning to disappear? To take her with him? Or worse, was someone else supposed to use it? The sound of footsteps in the hallway freezes her blood. Sarah quickly closes the passport and shoves it into her purse. But before she can zip up the suitcase, she hears the unmistakable beep of a keycard at the door. Sarah's hands tremble as she pushes the hotel room door wider, stepping into the dimly lit space. The suitcase sits on the bed like an accusation, its black leather surface gleaming under the lamplight. Her heart hammers against her ribs as she approaches it, each step feeling like a betrayal of the trust she once had in her marriage. The zipper gives way with a soft whisper, and Sarah's world tilts on its axis. Tom's familiar cologne drifts up from his neatly folded shirts, the same blue Oxford he wore to their anniversary dinner last month. But beneath his clothes, her fingers find something that makes her blood run cold. Her own burgundy passport, the one she keeps locked in their home safe. "What the hell?" Sarah whispers, flipping through the pages. Her photo stares back at her, but the stamps are all wrong. Entry marks for countries she's never visited, dates when she was home teaching her third-grade class. Her legs give out, and she sinks onto the hotel bed, the passport clutched in her shaking hands. The room spins around her as possibilities crash through her mind. Identity theft? Some elaborate scam? Or worse, has Tom been living a double life so complete that he's been dragging her into it without her knowledge? Sarah pulls out her phone, fingers hovering over 911. But what would she even tell them? That her husband has her passport in a hotel room that isn't his? The scandal would destroy both their careers, their carefully built life in their small Connecticut town where everyone knows everyone. She stands up, pacing the small space between the bed and window. Outside, the Vegas Strip pulses with neon life, oblivious to her crisis. "Think, Sarah, think," she mutters, pressing her palms against her temples. The sound of footsteps in the hallway makes her freeze. They're getting closer, and Sarah realizes with growing panic that she's essentially breaking and entering. She clutches the passport tighter, her mind racing through escape routes when the footsteps stop right outside the door. A soft knock echoes through the room. "Housekeeping," calls a voice, but it sounds wrong somehow. Too casual, too familiar. Sarah holds her breath, praying whoever it is will go away. But then she hears the distinctive beep of a key card, and her stomach drops to her feet. She looks around frantically for somewhere to hide, but the room is sparse. Just a bed, dresser, and bathroom. The electronic lock clicks, and Sarah makes a split-second decision. She shoves the passport into her purse and dives toward the bathroom, but she's too late. The door swings open with agonizing slowness, each inch revealing more of her worst fears. But instead of Tom, or hotel security, or even the strange woman Laura, a completely unexpected figure steps into the room. Sarah's jaw drops as she recognizes the tall, elegant woman in the designer blazer, Megan Cartwright, Tom's business associate from his consulting firm. "Sarah?" Megan's perfectly manicured eyebrows arch in surprise, though something in her green eyes suggests this encounter isn't as unexpected as she's pretending. "What on earth are you doing here?" Sarah's mind reels. She's met Megan exactly 3 times, at company Christmas parties where the woman's sharp intelligence and cold beauty made Sarah feel like a small-town mouse in comparison. What could Tom's sophisticated colleague possibly be doing with a key to this room? "I could ask you the same thing," Sarah manages, her teacher voice kicking in despite her racing heart. "This isn't Tom's room." Megan steps fully inside, closing the door behind her with a soft click that somehow sounds ominous. Her smile doesn't reach her eyes as she surveys the open suitcase, the scattered contents, and Sarah's guilty expression. "Oh, but it is," Megan says, her voice silk smooth and utterly controlled. "In a manner of speaking. If you thought you understood what was happening in this Las Vegas hotel room, you're about to discover how wrong you were." Because Megan's next words would change everything Sarah thought she knew about her husband, her marriage, and the dangerous game she'd unknowingly stumbled into. The woman she'd always seen as just another face at corporate events was about to reveal herself as something far more sinister. The figure in the doorway freezes Sarah's blood. Standing there with an unsettling smile is Megan Torres, Tom's enigmatic business associate she'd only heard mentioned in passing dinner conversations. Megan steps into the room with the fluid grace of someone completely in control, her designer heels clicking against the hotel carpet. "Sarah," Megan says, her voice honeyed but somehow cold. "I was wondering when you'd show up." Sarah's grip tightens on her own passport, still clutched in her trembling hand. "Where is my husband?" Her voice comes out stronger than she feels, surprising herself. Megan closes the door behind her with deliberate slowness, turning the deadbolt with a click that sounds unnaturally loud in the silence. "Tom is exactly where he needs to be right now. The question is, what are you doing here?" "I found his suitcase. My passport. What kind of sick game is this?" Sarah backs toward the window, her heart hammering against her ribs. "No game, Sarah. Tom is protecting you from something much bigger than a simple affair." Megan's calm poise begins to shift, her smile becoming more predatory. "You see, your friend Laura downstairs? She's not who she says she is." Before Sarah can process this revelation, another voice cuts through the tension. "Neither are you, apparently." Laura appears in the doorway, having somehow bypassed the locked door. Her earlier worried demeanor has completely vanished, replaced by something sharp and calculating. The transformation is so complete that Sarah feels like she's looking at a different person entirely. "Ladies," Laura continues, stepping into the room, "I think it's time we stopped pretending." Sarah's world tilts on its axis. "What is happening? Where is Tom?" "Your husband," Megan says, her voice dropping to something barely above a whisper, "got himself involved in something he shouldn't have. Industrial espionage, to be specific. He discovered some very sensitive information about government contracts, and certain people want it back." Laura laughs, but there's no humor in it. "She's lying, Sarah. Tom came to us. He wanted in on the deal from the beginning." "That's not true," Megan snaps, her composed facade cracking. "He was trying to expose you." The two women face off like predators circling prey, and Sarah realizes with growing horror that she might be the prey they're circling. The hotel room suddenly feels suffocating, the walls closing in as accusations fly back and forth. "Stop!" Sarah shouts, surprising herself with her own volume. "Just stop. I don't care about your corporate espionage or whatever this is. I just want my husband back." But what happens next makes Sarah's courage ignite like a match struck in darkness. She looks at both women, these strangers who seem to know more about her life than she does, and something fundamental shifts inside her. She spent 3 days being afraid, being confused, being led around by mysterious clues and half-truths. "You know what?" Sarah says, her voice steady now. "I'm done being scared. I'm done being manipulated. One of you is going to tell me exactly where Tom is, or I'm calling the FBI right now." Laura and Megan exchange a look that sends chills down Sarah's spine. There's communication passing between them, some understanding that excludes her entirely. Megan takes a step closer, her smile returning but somehow more dangerous than before. "Sarah, you don't understand the position you're in. Your husband made choices that put you both in danger. We're trying to help." "Help by stealing my passport? Help by lying to me?" Sarah's anger burns away her fear. "I want answers. Real ones. Now." The tension in the room reaches a breaking point when Laura suddenly moves toward the suitcase. Maybe it's time she knew everything. But Megan's reaction is swift and violent. "Don't you dare." As the two women struggle, Sarah backs toward the door, her mind racing with escape plans. But before she can move, Megan breaks away from Laura and turns to face Sarah with an expression that makes her blood run cold. "Your husband isn't just involved in espionage, Sarah," Megan says, breathing heavily. "He's been working undercover for the FBI for the past 6 months. And now they want him dead." The weight of Megan's words hangs in the air like smoke from a distant fire. Sarah's world tilts as the truth crashes over her in waves she never saw coming. Corporate espionage? Sarah's voice cracks, her grip tightening on Tom's suitcase handle. You're telling me my husband is some kind of spy? Megan's expression softens, the menacing mask finally slipping away. Not by choice, Sarah. Tom stumbled into something much bigger than he ever imagined. Laura here. She gestures toward the woman who's been following them. She's not just some business associate. She's been feeding corporate secrets to international competitors for years. Laura's face contorts with rage, all pretense abandoned. You have no idea what you're dealing with, Megan. None of you do. Sarah's mind races, connecting dots she never knew existed. The passport. My passport in his suitcase. Why? Because Tom knew they were closing in. Megan explains, her voice urgent now. He grabbed your passport as part of an escape plan. If things went wrong, he wanted to get you both out of the country safely. The suitcase in Laura's room was meant to throw off the people following him, make them think he was working with her. The hotel room door suddenly explodes inward with a deafening crash. FBI agents flood the space, weapons drawn, voices shouting commands that blend into a cacophony of authority and chaos. FBI, nobody move. Hands where we can see them. Sarah's heart hammers against her ribcage as she raises her trembling hands. Through the chaos, she sees Tom being escorted in, his face a mixture of relief and terror when his eyes find hers. Sarah. He breathes, and in that single word, she hears months of anguish, fear, and desperate love. Agent Martinez, a stern woman with kind eyes, takes control of the scene. Mrs. Mitchell, you're safe now. Your husband has been cooperating with our investigation for the past 3 months. The pieces finally click into place with devastating clarity. Tom's distant behavior, the mysterious phone calls, the business trips that never quite made sense. He wasn't cheating. He was trying to protect her from a web of corporate espionage that had ensnared him completely. Tom discovered Laura's operation by accident. Agent Martinez explains as Laura is handcuffed, her face a mask of cold fury. When he tried to report it, Laura threatened you, Sarah. She had photos of your daily routine, your workplace, your friends. Tom felt he had no choice but to play along while we built our case. Sarah looks at her husband, really looks at him, and sees the weight he's been carrying alone. The man she thought was betraying her had been sacrificing everything to keep her safe. I'm so sorry, Sarah. Tom whispers as the agents give them a moment together. I wanted to tell you everything, but they said if Laura suspected you knew anything. Sarah reaches out and touches his face, feeling the stubble that's grown during days of stress and sleepless nights. You were protecting me. I was losing my mind. He admits, tears streaming down his cheeks. Every day I couldn't tell you the truth felt like another betrayal. When I grabbed your passport, I was so scared we'd have to run and never look back. As Laura is led away, she turns back with venom in her voice. This isn't over. You have no idea how deep this goes. But Sarah no longer feels afraid. Something has shifted inside her during these past few days. The woman who discovered that mysterious text on Tom's phone feels like a stranger now. She's found a strength she never knew she possessed. It is over, Sarah says firmly, meeting Laura's glare without flinching. For you, it's over. Agent Martinez approaches them with paperwork and promises of witness protection if needed. But Sarah already knows their decision. They're going home. Together. 6 months later, Sarah stands in their renovated kitchen, watching Tom tend to the small herb garden they planted on their balcony. The trial is behind them. Laura received a 15-year sentence. Tom's cooperation earned him immunity and a fresh start with a new company that values his integrity. But more importantly, their marriage has transformed into something stronger than either of them thought possible. The foundation of secrets and half-truths has been replaced with radical honesty and deep trust. You know what I learned? Sarah says as Tom comes inside, basil fresh from their garden in his hands. I learned that I'm braver than I ever imagined, and that sometimes the scariest truth is still better than the most comfortable lie. Tom nods, pulling her into his arms. I learned that protecting someone you love sometimes means trusting them with the darkness, not hiding it from them. Their story could have ended in that Las Vegas hotel room with betrayal and broken trust. Instead, it became a testament to the power of resilience, honesty, and the courage to fight for what matters most. If you've ever felt that moment when everything you believed was suddenly questioned, remember Sarah's journey. Sometimes the very thing that threatens to destroy us becomes the catalyst for discovering who we really are. Trust your instincts, summon your courage, and never underestimate your own strength. What would you have done in Sarah's situation? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and if this story moved you, make sure to subscribe for more incredible true stories that remind us all of the power of human resilience and the triumph of truth over deception.